Oh, you've got to be kidding me. All right, so I've never made it a secret that I have problems with the company known as Apple. They have Apple trademarked, which is funny because it's a fruit. If you said Apple on TV, can they sue you? Anyway, they released this thing. I don't want to say what it is. You probably already know what it is. Today recently they released a statement about a new product they're going to be carrying, designed by Apple in California, dedicated to Steve Jobs. Now, for me, that just feels like a kind of clickbaity thing. Like, let's just tie Steve Jobs' name into it. There's no picture of Steve Jobs in this photo book, so why don't we just put his name on it?
One of the things that we've learned is the importance of listening.
One of the important things they've learned is the importance of listening. Really? So why is it that they don't listen when people complain about their products being overpriced, underpowered, not up to date with the products that are out there from other companies? The only thing that people really seem to think they have going for them is the software. So why aren't their products ever up to spec with modern technology, including even Casey Neistat. Casey Neistat did a video the other day talking about the new MacBook and talking about his super expensive, highly valuable Apple, what is it, the Mac Pro or whatever it was, the professional grade editing computer he has.
This is the Mac Pro with every option selected. This thing costs as much as a used Toyota. It's supposed to be like the world-changing supercomputer, and it's the worst machine I have ever owned. All I use this computer for is for data management. These are my hard drives here, and I manage all that data on this machine. The computer is really that bad.
I mean, seriously, this is a guy that makes videos for a living. This is a guy that uses his computer constantly. And his MacBook Pro is better than his Mac Pro. Desktops are supposed to be much faster, much more efficient, and much more powerful because of the way they're designed and have much more ability to air cool, and there's just so much more functionality that's supposed to be packed into a desktop, including having multiple monitors and all that stuff. Not necessarily true when you have the $4,000, whatever it is, Mac Pro, and it's garbage compared to a $2,000 computer. I believe my computer is almost up to the specs of the Mac Pro, and I only spent $600 on it. They're so content to just ride on the user base that they already have and not really worry about growing their user base, because they're already considered industry standard for editing and things like that.
For every finished product that you see, tools had to be designed, process had to be created and experimented with.
For everything you see, something had to be designed. They had to custom design all of their manufacturing tools. How is this book showing off the process used to make these things by showing the things and not the freaking process?
This book captures...
Look at that. A bunch of fantastic looking pictures of Apple products. Oh, look, here's another fantastic couple of pictures of Apple products. That's all this book is. It's pictures of Apple products. They've already said that. While this is a nice image, it's really cool to see what's inside of them. It's not something that needs to cost $300 freaking dollars. Oh my word. It's almost like they said, okay, not many people are going to buy this, so let's charge the people that are going to buy this a whole lot of money just so we can kind of make some extra money on it. Instead of charging $30 and, $40, whatever, like most companies would charge for a photo book. This is going to be a gigantic photo book, but it's a coffee table book.
You understand the nature of an object so much more when you understand how it came to be.
I want to announce my photo book that shows my history here. It's not going to show my process or anything, but it's going to be of me and my wife through our time together. This book is 55 pages. It's going to cost you approximately $50, just under $1 a page, not including shipping and handling.
It's not that we're not interested in the work we've done before.
Oh my word, not that you're not interested in the work you've done before. The book is all about the work you've done before. And what's on this other page?
So
There's nothing on that page. There's nothing on the page. There's nothing on the page next to this one, which means you're getting ripped off. It's 450 pages, but about 75 of those pages are only one-sided, so you're only going to get one picture on that page. See, the funny thing is, normally, I don't think a book like this, if you take a regular book, you take a book. I've got a book somewhere. Give me 1 second. The typical structure for a book is not to be actually how many physical pieces of paper are in the book equals the number of pages. It's how many sides of paper are in the book. For instance, this is Stephen Colbert's America Again, the Rebecoming the Greatest We Never Weren't. Here's an example. Here you can see, all right, it can't focus on that, but it says 85. This is page 85 right here. This is page 86. The same piece of paper, yet somehow two different pages. Given that this is the structure of most books, that means that this 450-page book will actually be somewhere closer to 225 pages, meaning it's not as big as you think, but this book is only approximately 248 pages. And look how thick that is. That's a thick book. This is not a coffee table book. Given that this would be the actual size, it's still a rather large coffee table book. And it costs $300. So whoever has $300 to buy this, depending on the provider you're going with, that's almost the cost of an iPhone itself when you're signing up for a new plan. I mean, I'll be honest, right here, this is a nice image. This is kind of cool because it shows kind of the progress that they made in working on the Apple iPods and all that stuff. I believe this is the picture of the iPod Touch. This appears to be the iPod Touch versions, but it could be the iPhone. I'm pretty sure it's just the iPod Touch. But anyway, it's kind of nice to see all this, but at the cost of $300 for 250 some pages, 260 some odd pages of pictures, that's not really worth it. Dedicated to Steve Jobs. And then you got some more pictures of the products here. I'm not even sure what that is. I guess that's a component in one of the products or something. I'm not quite sure. But there's not even any words to describe what these things are or what they're being used for, without having any context as to what you're actually looking at. What is the point? I can't remember what article I was looking at. I saw it on my phone, and I can't find it now. I can't find it on a computer, but there was an article I saw on a website. I can't remember what the website was, or I'd probably be able to find it. But basically, they put it as, this is the most vain thing a company could possibly do. Here is, hey everybody, hello everyone, do you want a bunch of pictures of our product at the cost equal to one of our products? Why not, instead of buying one of our products, you buy this book full of pictures of said products? I guess these are different tools and drill bits that they use. See, like, it's funny because they're actually putting all of this stuff on the internet. They're putting all these pictures of the book on the internet for free to look at, to try and get you to want to buy it. You could just look at the pictures on the internet. You can Google any of their products and see most of these images. Some of this stuff like this, these are pictures of molds and stuff. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but it's not worth $300 to see this stuff. I love some of the titles of these YouTube videos about it too. Apple releases $300 book about themselves. Introducing the new Apple. Only $150, preserved in a wax coating. I will still never understand why the Apple logo is an apple with a bite missing. I've never understood. Alan Turing laced an apple with cyanide and then bit the apple, committing suicide because people were trying to cure his sexuality. He was unrecognized for his work, facing jail for gross indecency, and humiliated by estrogen injections intended to cure his homosexuality. He bit into the apple he laced with cyanide and died in obscurity on June 7th, 1954, 10 years and a day after the Normandy landings, which made copious use of intelligence gleaned by his methods. Something seems off with that story. Why would you inject an apple with cyanide to eat the apple when you could have just taken the cyanide? Oh my word. See, that right there seems like the perfect analogy for Apple. Apple always does overly complicated things to get the same result that someone else can get. It's all for show. It's practically all for show. Why inject an apple to take the cyanide when you could put the cyanide in your mouth and eat it or drink it or whatever form it was in? Considering you injected it, it had to be in a fluid form. It doesn't make any sense to bite the apple and then croak. But the funny thing is, basically, the Apple logo is a throwback to someone who committed suicide. Now, while their intention apparently was to remember Turing for his not being recognized. It's funny because they really only used the thing that he used to kill himself with. That's like trying to remember Lincoln and using a picture of a gun. That's like remembering Roosevelt and using a picture of a wheelchair. Possibly one of the worst things to remember them by. I mean, other than a bottle of cyanide or a syringe, that just seems kind of silly to me. And that's become their logo, and now they're like this big thing that is so full of themselves that they're going to sell a $300 book, a visual history spanning iMac to Apple Pencil? What the frick is the Apple Pencil? The Apple Pencil. It's a battery-powered stylus for your tablet. Oh my word. You've got to be freaking kidding me. It's a $100 battery-powered stylus. Freaking kill me now. I mean, here's something I thought was funny. If you go to the Apple Twitter page, here's just to show you how devoted people are to Apple with almost no reason. 673,000 followers since 2011, but they've never tweeted a thing. And it doesn't have a following thing listed because they don't follow anyone. And they're even using the up-to-date picture. So they updated it. They updated the page, but they're not using anything. It's verified. This is the actual page. Can we please stop glorifying fricking Apple for their not really advanced methods in moving forward? Can we please just stop glorifying Apple altogether, please? Because this is just stupid. This is not worth $300. I'm done. Thanks for watching. Please don't waste your money.